What's up guys, this is Teddy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this last and final video, we are going to be doing custom policies. Probably one of the most important parts of ASP.NET identity, and custom policies are going to be what allow you to access controllers using claims and roles and prevent people from going to other parts of your website that you don't want them to based on roles and claims. And first, let's just make a controller and name it something a little bit better than just access. That's probably not the best naming for it. Go back in here, access controller. Okay, so there are essentially two ways that you can limit access. Actually, there's many ways, but the most common, or there's technically only two ways, but they have many variations. I'm going to show you each one of those variations right now. So the most common one is going to be just your typical authorize. So essentially what's going to happen, and I will go in here and we'll make a view for it. So if you probably already are familiar with this. You can have authorize, which will authenticate based off of just a cookie. So in this case, it would be authorize from cookie, or if you had JWT, it would be you authorize off of JWT. If you have a endpoint where you need people to log in, that's when you have allow anonymous. But you also have roles and you have policy-based access, and role is going to be the easiest one by far, and I'll show you how that one works. So go down here, public I action results, and then we would have user or Pokemon access. So with Pokemon access, whatever our role is for that user, or whatever our user role is, and in this case we have blogger, trainer, Pokemon, Pokemon, we have a Pokemon trainer, we just have trainer, and then we have blogger. So let's just say in our case you would have roles like this, and then we would have blogger. And then you can also have it so that you have more than one. So you could also have, let's just say, this person, Pokemon and blogger access. That is essentially, in a nutshell, what that means. Whatever the role is, you can filter or you can authorize based off of this role. I'm going to have just a return a view. Very simple. I don't think we really need to go in here and add hook up a bunch of HTML and get these pages working. I think it's mostly just need to understand the difference between roles, and then you also need to understand policy. So we also have policy right here. Then what we would do is you would have different policies wired up within your program. So with the roles, we don't actually have to have any type of code within our program file, but with policies, you actually have to go in here and you have to actually, like, quote unquote, wire them up. And let me see. Let's call this one only super admin checker. So this is going to only check if, or let's actually do only blogger checker. So we are going to make a custom policy called only blogger checker, and it's going to check if a person is a blogger. And we will just have I action result. So it's just going to return a regular action result, and we would call this only blogger checker. And we're going to return an imaginary view. So we want to check only if they're a blogger. what we want to do first is we want to go into our program file, and we actually need to add this to a service. And the service is going to be relatively simple looking. It's not anything complicated. So we're going here, builder, services, and then you would have add authorization. And I don't really know why they call it that. That's just kind of what they call it. We would come in here, and then here is where we add our custom policy. So add policy only Pokemon checker. And this is what's going to do the actual wiring up and go into the actual controller to actually check to see if this is like a real policy. And it's called only blogger checker, so we're going to call it only blogger. We need to continue making the rest of it. So we're going to have policy, then go in here, policy dot requirements dot add, and come in here and only blogger authorization. And I think I spelled requirements wrong. So require, let me see. I'm just going to go in here to my GitHub and paste this right here. Okay, so that looks great. Now we need to go in and we need to actually make this authorization handler, and just called an authorization handler kind of has a funky pattern. Not gonna lie, like first time I ever saw this pattern, I was like, it's a little strange, but it's okay, I guess. So I'm gonna go in here, then I'm just gonna call this authorization. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, type in only blogger. I think I was just checking for blogger, only blogger authorization. Like that. And made a controller, which I do not know why. And then this is where we bring in our authorization handler. So we have authorization handler. Make sure I spelled that right. Then we have only blogger authorization. Then we also are bringing in an interface. So only authorization requirement. Spelled it wrong. So there we go. Now what we need to do is we need to come in here and implement this abstract class. This is actually an abstract class. And it's got a bunch of virtuals in it that allow us to basically pass down this method. So here, what we are going to do is we're going to come in here, we're going to reach into the user is in role, we're going to check if it's in the role blogger. We're going to go here, context dot succeed requirement. Then we're going to return, because this is async, we're going to go completed task. We're going to go down here, task dot completed task, and what we're going to do is we're going to check the nickname of the user. So we have a user, then we need to do some type of authorization based off of the actual nickname for the user. So we have nickname here, and whatever the nickname is, we don't actually have anything, but just in theory, it's going to check in this database table if there's a specific nickname for the person, and if it does, it's going to check it, and that will be the other example that I'm going to do. So come in here. Let's go into our controller. Let me see here. So we have a controller. We're going to have another access controller, and let's just say we're going to call this authorized policy. We're going to go nickname. So we're going to go authorized policy. It's going to be check nickname Teddy. It's going to check if the nickname is going to be Teddy for this particular endpoint. So if this person who's trying to access this controller, if their name is Teddy, it will let them use it. So we're going to go check nickname Teddy. Check nickname Teddy. So go down, turn you. Okay, and then we need to go into our actual add authorization. Oh, we can actually bring that in. So we're gonna go bring that in. Only blogger authorization. That's going to be that auth policy. Then we're going to go here. So add policy. We're going to go check nickname Teddy. So we're going to check nickname. And go back to the program file. And go over to policy. So we'll go policy. Equal to policy dot requirements dot add, and we'll call new nickname check, and then pass in Teddy. So this code is going to look a little bit stranger. Like, I'm not even like lying. Like, these patterns that I'm about to show you are kind of strange looking, but they're not really that complicated. So first thing that we want to do is you want to have what's called a requirement. So what you do is you go in here, and we'll call it nickname requirement. We're going to have this. Go ahead, add this class. Then we're going to have authorization requirement. Then string, have the name. Then we're also going to have string name, and come in here, it's equal to name, and that is going to be our that's going to be our requirement. Now what we want to do is we want to go into the database and actually check, and we're going to call it nickname authorization. Nickname authorization. Okay, then we come up here, authorization handler, and we're going to call this the nickname requirement. Then we need to actually implement the abstract class. Then we come up here, then we need to go into our constructor. We need to bring in the user manager. User manager. It's going to be app user, user manager, application DB context is equal to DB. bring in this. Okay, then bring in this. Now what we want to do is we want to go in and get that user ID from the user claim. We have these nice little cool helpers to help us. So then claim types. Right here. Then we have value. We're going to come in here, user is equal to db app user first or default. Then we come up here. Now we can reach into user ID. You make that a lambda. Now we can actually go get the claims. So task.run async await user manager dot get claims async, pass in user, get the result back because it is asynchronous. Now we get the actual claim. So we go claims dot first or default. We go c dot type is equal to the first name. No, this is actually going to be the nickname. Let's go nickname. And that is that. Then we'll do a null check on the claim. So go claim, or not null check. So go null. If claim dot value to lower contains requirement dot name dot to lower, then we're going to check in there. We need one more. So go down, then context dot succeed requirement, then return completed task. Task, bring that over here, then return task dot completed task. And let's go ahead and check if it runs. So bring that in. And let's go ahead and make sure that these are working. This could take me a little bit, but I'm going to make sure that all of this is working and making sure that all of this is good. Otherwise, feel free to leave. But if you want to make sure that all of yours is working and go through this and have me troubleshoot it with you, feel free to stay. Okay, so we need to go in and we need to actually test the changes that we've done. Go into my GitHub and paste down these right here. These are going to be the test endpoints, and I just went ahead and typed them out so you don't have to type them. Also, go into your program.cs file. Make sure this is only blog checker. Make sure that these match these right here, the actual controllers in our access controller. Then you want to go ahead and start it up. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to start it up. Then all access, Authorize is working. We are, a Pokemon and a blogger role. Access denied because we are not only a blogger, and the nickname is spelled slightly off so that it is actually denying the access and pushing us towards access denied. So that is working as well. Anyway, that is going to be the course. If you guys like this, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and as always, thank you for watching.